Right, now we've got the next talk on school students. I think it's important to discuss this. It's something, comedy students have been based in universities mostly, and it's an important area to expand into. But as I'm no longer a school student, I'm going to hand over to the expert.
Okay, firstly on the importance of organisation of school students. The capitalists in their state retain power by the use of coercion and effectively brainwashing. So ignorance is the weapon of the capitalist class, therefore education is vital for human liberation. Capitalism is acting to distort education. Capital's only interest in education is to prepare the masses for a life of servitude as wage slaves. Schools have become institutions where young people are forced to learn for the sake of exams and where they lose interest in learning. The youth as a whole are demonised in the bourgeois media and blamed for crime and social decay. Capitalism is a system of the self, where individual gain is placed at higher importance than human solidarity. In such conditions, it is not surprising that many young people become alienated and cut off from society. These individuals may turn to drugs, gangs, or in some circumstances suicide. The current education system aims to rid young people of any sense of sympathy or solidarity with the oppressed of the world, and this is why communist organisation in schools and colleges is so important. We live in a society where the youth are exploited as cheap labour and where there is a woeful lack of real youth representation. The youth want a voice, but at the moment all they've got is some pathetic sort of youth council. And there's one locally, and they'll discuss things like shelters in parks, and occasionally they'll make a petition about stabbing people as bad. It's like, oh really? Thank you.
Not Jewish language.
So the tasks ahead of us are many, and I think the communist students should be a replacement effectively of the bourgeois youth councils. It should be the voice of the youth. The tasks ahead of us are many. The struggles for votes for 16-year-olds is one that must be undertaken primarily by school and college students. I believe that the youth will enthusiastically support this idea, and through campaigning for this we could gain significant support. The youth, through protest and organisation, must win itself the rights at which it has been denied. This means setting up CS branches of local school students, taking to the streets, or perhaps participating in youth parliament. As well as democratic rights for youth, communists must fight for the unionisation of youth labour. Schools and colleges could serve as centres for these youth unions. The fight for votes and unions is not a revolutionary one, but it's nonetheless important. However, we are of course a long way from having a movement that could even win concessions from the capitalist state. Emphasising the significance of our politics in the struggle would be of the utmost importance as we seek to create a real political movement in schools and colleges. The potential is there, and I believe this was shown by the youth participation in the 2003 anti-war movement. The school students organised strikes against the illegal war in solidarity with the Iraqi people despite threats of expulsion. A weekly worker article from March 27th, 2003 talked of young people taking communist leaflets and buying weekly workers, and I believe this shows that a section of the youth understands the deeper politics and the fact that war and capitalism go hand in hand. However, obviously the task of winning over school students to communism is a monumental one, and one we haven't started yet really. Political education of students must emphasise the need to end capitalism and expose it as a system of poverty, greed and oppression. There are numerous campaigns we could launch that could help us gain support of school students and get them involved in revolutionary politics. Campaigns on Vote for 16 or on the environment would be two examples that would appeal to young people. Internet forums will be increasingly crucial in organising school students, both locally and nationally, and also just in debate and discussing of ideas. Once CS branches are set up in schools and colleges, it will be important for there to be the highest degree of cooperation and communication between comrades in universities and the comrades in schools and colleges, and this is to ensure the development and involvement of younger members, and also to ensure that the coordination of students at different educational institutions during any campaigns. If we can rally the students from schools and colleges, as well as those from universities, what we will create is a mass student organisation that will be a part of the wider workers' movement. That's it. Brief.